All right, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of Conversations Under the Influence. I am Natallia, your host, and I'm so excited for my guest co-host today, Donna Stellini. I met her at Evolve Dance Studios, and my jaw dropped when I found out how old she was. So before we get into it, make sure you guys press the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, hit the thumbs up, and comment anywhere you can. It always helps us out. Now, Donna, thank you so much for taking the time. I'm so excited.
Thank you for inviting me.
How have you been doing with this whole quarantine stuff?
I've been doing well. I mean, my kids are on me like won't let me do certain things because of the age factor, that they want me to be.
And
So,
how old are you? Are you willing to share your age?
yes, I'm 80.
This is why, boys and girls. So I'm literally in this dance class, like in hooker heels, popping and twerking. And I remember I saw you the class before, and you're like doing your groove thing. I literally thought you were in like your like mid-50s maybe. And I remember talking to you the next time and just was like, you are my spirit animal. You are definitely somebody that like I strive to be like as I've gotten older. Can you give a little bit more of your background of like where you from, where you grew up, then obviously get a little into like how you got to be such a badass woman?
I was born in California. Well, I was not really born in California. I was brought to California when I was 6 weeks old, but I was raised here.
Okay,
Uh, I was raised in the Valley, in Studio City.
Valley girl.
And when I was 18, I became Miss California, and I went on, I was a tomboy. Ah! Started, my mother didn't know what to do with me because I was such a tomboy, but so she thought this was a big, good entry into the world. And it was for me because I was this adventurous kid that loved doing, anything, travel. So that's where my traveling started, and it still continues.
I know
But
your Instagram is insane because those are all the photos you take yourself, correct?
yes,
Oh my god.
I'm a photojournalist. I didn't get into it till very late. I started class when I was 67 years old. Went to
Hear
school.
that, people? Everyone who thinks they're dead in your 20s and 30s, like your life is what you make of it. Like I
It
love that.
started when people say, like, my granddaughter right now, because of the virus, that she was going into college and she didn't know what to do because they're going to be online, and she finally decided to take a year off. And I said, honey, it's the best thing you could do. You're 18 years old. If you fooled around for 4 or 5 years and didn't do anything, you're so young. People that think that they're 40 and 50, it's just starting. Things
Yeah,
start.
and I think that's such great advice because I traveled a little bit after college. I wish I could have easily done more. And I feel like people, especially nowadays, feel pressure to right away like get their life started and not to mess around. But to me, you can't get better life experience than traveling and realizing that everything that we grew up with and things that we see on TV isn't always necessarily true. So, what better way to experience life and to be able to formulate your own opinion and actually learn about yourself than to travel?
So true. I remember I had gone out of the country. And I went out of the country like when I got out of high school right away and several times. And I was invited for a party at a college at
Mhm.
SC. And I was so excited because I thought, all these smart people are going to college and I'm just going off and working. And I go to the party and everybody was drinking beer and it was so stupid. And I left and I said, that is just, I mean, it was just, I still remember it like today, that it was just the stupidest thing I've ever seen,
Uh-huh.
because we were out and drinking, like cocktails, martinis and little olives.
You last night?
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, and I enjoyed the work. I went in to become a model.
Okay.
And, yeah. And then I got married and had 3 children, and they're all raised now. And I have grandchildren too. uh, 2 little girls that are my little love boats. I've adored them. When they were little, I just ate them up, and we had little tea parties and did all that stuff. But now they're 16 and 18, and Nana is like
They got more better things to do, right?
They'll come back. They'll come back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. But with my photography, that's taken a lot too. That's a great. Uh, Everybody says that's a good hobby. Well, I
Yeah.
didn't go into it for a hobby. I really focused on I wanted to be a photographer.
How great.
So,
Did you always have a passion for it, or was that something you kind of discovered later on in your journey?
when I was a model, I didn't like being model. I liked the money, but it was never like, what I'm doing. I just did this ad or whatever. I never liked that.
Yeah.
But I did like the other end of it, but it was challenging and different. So, uh, you know, I never thought too much of it. And later on, it's like I had to go to school. And I thought, how could I do this? Go to school and learn this?
Yeah.
Because it was such a strong feeling that I did. And just like all this computer stuff, I was laughing. It's like, if I would have ever known what I had to do to get to you right now, if you think, people go like, my girlfriend just took a Zoom thing on Tony Roberts.
Okay.
Okay. And she's going, oh my God, what'll I do? What'll I do? And I said, just get a, monitor and, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
And that's the way it goes.
Yeah. Technology be scary, but it's also luckily getting easier as we go. So when you're doing your photography and your travels, do you want to list for the viewers some of the places you've been?
To what?
The places that you've been for photography?
All the places?
Well, just them off the top of your head.
India, Morocco, Vietnam, Cambodia, Myanmar, East Africa, Zanzibar. Yeah, Zanzibar, you'd love. Yeah.
I'll put on my list. And let me ask you this: did you ever feel like uncomfortable or unsafe, or that people weren't welcoming during your travels?
Morocco was a little tough. But
Hmm.
I mean, in consideration, like, no, I've never ever felt. I mean, I just don't pay any attention. I play stupid, and I don't know what I'm doing, and they don't know what to do with me, and they kind of like because there are certain even places in the United States when I did the South, the Deep South,
Hmm.
the Appalachians, and I love the Appalachians, and I studied with a famous photographer to learn what I needed to learn to take people's pictures like that. And I
Hmm.
just try to give a respectful picture. And um, one of the guys, there was a group of black men, and I was I was working on this new approach, and you almost have to sit on their lap. If you're like they're in a car and you're on their window, you have to be on their window and everything. And he says, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I'm taking a class right now. And I told him what I wanted to do. And he said, try it. And I got the picture. So it's just, yeah, it's just like, if you talk to people, I think in anything, that's how I met you.
Yeah.
I was gonna pole dance, and all you young things were like doing it so well, but I just wanted to do it not because I was going to be a pole dancer, but because of the.
Never say never.
But even now with the chair dancing, it's like if I do 15 squats, I'm doing more than anybody else I know. It's just to keep the body moving and flexible. And I think whatever, you just have to constantly think about doing something different and moving forward and doing things that, like a purpose.
Yes, I love that. And like, I've studied a lot of this because like when I was in my 20s doing the corporate thing in New York City, and I was very unhappy, I was very stagnant, and physically my body became that. I became very overweight and everything. And it's funny, as I've gotten older, I just turned 40 last year, I think. And I
Oh,
remember, or not last year, last last month, don't give me too much more. But I'm actually healthier and more vibrant now because I'm moving my body and exploring new things and doing things that I love, and also don't put too much pressure to be something that everyone else keeps saying I should be. Like I find like
that's where you have to, you just have to, I think all the young people, and I do think you're getting more new tools than we had in my time, but the
mhm,
tools that you get to be a healthier human being. Like I have two boys, and they meditate, and they try to keep their feet on the ground and everything, but the tools that they get are like special, and you shouldn't try to compete and be what people want. You should just be yourself, whatever that is, and be loving and be kind. And it's not always easy.
People.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's like there's times where I go like, do not say what you're thinking. Do not, Donna. Just don't do that. Just listen, because you want to say like, are you foolish?
Yeah. You can curse on here. I curse on here all the time. So how did you find your way into the dance classes?
Into the classes?
Yeah.
I was purely accidental.
Okay.
I do all kinds of things. I do Pilates. I'm a great spinner. I walk 6, 7 miles. I do like lots of different things. And there was a girl that doesn't do anything that I know. And she said she found a gym, and she kept on talking about it, and that it's over where it was over. And I said, oh, go join, you do something. And oh, I'm so shy. I don't want to go. And she said, would you come with me? I said, I'll come with you. Okay. I'll come with you. And so she said, oh, okay. So I meet her at her house. I pick her up. I go to this place. We go up the stairs. And I say to her, this isn't a gym. This is a pole dancing place. She said, oh, well, let's do it. And I went like, is this what you want to do? Because I had nothing. That wasn't I was just trying to be a good person, trying to help her. And long story of it is like, she did 2 classes and I've never seen her, and I've been there,
Yeah, I know.
I went in for surgery, and it took me so much strength to try to get back, and I was determined to do the pole again. Yeah.
Pole is no joke. Like, it might be one of the hardest things I've ever done, and
it is you guys out there, if you think it's a joke, my daughter, she said like, what are you doing? Pole dancing, Mom. I said, I'm not going for a job. I'm just going for some strength. I said, you try to do it, girl. You just try to do it. But I love it because all of you young things are so kind. You've been so kind to me, just listen, you could do it. I mean, there was one thing that they had me going to stand on my head, and I said, there's just no way that I can do that. I just can't do it. And they said, yes, you can. And I did it. And I was like, I did it. I really did it. So it's like, it is hard. Yeah. I mean, a man or a woman, because there's some men that come in there that are, pole dancers too. And it's like this stretching, the limber. I said to anybody at my work that if you just did that half hour of warm up, you could go home. You don't even have to go on the pole.
Yeah. No.
I mean, when I first started, when they take the legs and they stretch them out, I was like, oh. Yeah.
100%. And I loved another thing that you mentioned is like how important stretching is.
Oh, I never realized that, and it's like, I can't wait to get back to it. I mean, I really missed that part very much. Mm-hmm. The walking is great, but it doesn't do what that part does.
Yeah. When I try to also teach people, is like, if you think about when you're younger and you're a baby, you're very flexible because our body is it has movement, like liquid movement, like water. And it's like, if you have stagnation in certain areas, the fresh blood cells can't get there to heal and repair. And that's when we all start being like this. And we have all these other like ailments. And so I'm glad you touched on it. Because I mean, obviously, if you're in your 80s being able to do this, clearly you've worked on it at some sort of level.
It's like, they talk about in Pilates how it's, your core and strengthening. But I noticed, with pole dancing, it's like I'm more very aware of, like, that part. And it's like, and I felt it, that I'm not like slouching. Yeah. And like when I take the class now online, with Allie, that if I just do it, I mean, I said, please don't look at me, please, because I can't do what you guys are doing. If I get down and up again, you've already gotten down again. It's like, it gives me strength. It gives me Yeah. And I think that the bottom line of anything is like what you want to do. If you believe in yourself, then you can do it.
I love
Because whatever, I mean, I've gone on the plane and thinking, oh my God, what am I mean, how am I gonna get to the hotel? What if I've landed in a place where there's nothing around, and they didn't pick me up, the car that was supposed to pick me up.
yeah.
And it's like, well, what do you do? And I said, well, I got the name of the hotel. That's one thing, but it's like, and after a while you get like, I'll get there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've traveled. Do you travel by yourself or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I
Oh,
love it. People are always thinking I'm crazy, and I've done
no, I love
international travel.
even if I'm with people, I like to travel by myself. I don't like to have to, and I have been responsible for them, and that, are you okay? And you got to do this and the train and this. And did you get the pay? Did you get your ticket? It's really like I'm not a travel agent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you said like, listen, I'm going to be in Greece. I'm going to go to Santorini. Do you want to meet there? I'll meet you there. What day are you going to be there? Okay. Tuesday, I'll be in 6 o'clock. My plane will be there.
Yeah. I love that. And I think people overthink it because for me, I'm always like, well, go to the movies by yourself. Like, start small, go bigger. And that's actually how I started traveling by myself. Is when I moved to New York City, I didn't know anybody, and I was just getting depressed sitting in my apartment for like almost 2 months. And finally, I was like, fuck this shit. I'm going out. I went to a bar in Hoboken, New Jersey. No one talked to me. It wasn't that fun, but I'm like, I did it. So then I would do something else and something else. And eventually, started traveling by myself because I remember being like, okay, sit at home, be depressed because I have no one to travel with, or just go. And I enjoy it so much now. I learn so much more about myself. Like amazing opportunities show up. I meet cool people. And
For
like you.
sure.
And sometimes too, it's easy to overthink all the next steps, but it's like just get the ticket and then focus on the next thing. And like if something goes wrong, whatever, like it's a part of the adventure, you know?
You learn anything, even like if you read a book and you think like, I can't read him. He's too smart. And you read it and you go like, and you learn something. You take all these little bits and pieces and it's like you're a writer. So I mean, like somebody just will say one thing and it'll give you like, this brain cell thing.
I love that. And have
Yeah.
you always had this mindset, or is this something that you've developed over the years?
I've always been like the little independent little, kid that I didn't have any fear. The fear factor was missing. But I had four brothers.
Okay.
So
Oh, yeah.
you have four brothers, it's like if you don't get like determined, they're gonna punch you down.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
How fabulous. I love that. And then as far as like, do you think your health, your happy mindset has an effect on you, like physically with your health?
Oh, I think so. I think that you're in control of that, a lot of that. Not that, some people are born with bad genes and that they can't help it and they wind up with certain things. But you're, like, have you ever known a friend like, oh my God, I'm so tired. No, you're not tired. You can be tired when you're dead. You gotta get over it. I mean, you gotta hop to it and focus. And then, you don't always want to do what's good for you
Yeah.
or like what's hard.
Yeah.
And like you say that you want to be independent and you travel and you get in your car and you go off camping. That's not always easy.
Yeah.
Nobody told me that the fire went out because the wood was wet. I mean, lots of things happen. And it's cold. It's really cold.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. And I think too, for what I've realized over the years is like there's so much more reward on the other side of doing the things that you fear or that are hard work. And that's where like your happiness expands and your confidence expands. And like, if you just tackle short, small, little steps instead of focusing on these big like mountains, like
You,
that's
ha-
what
you
make
do
you.
have to pay your dues. You
Yeah.
do have to pay your dues. And, like you struggling to learn what makes you happy. And and what makes you grounded. And even you might not make any money doing what makes what you want to do, and you're struggling, and everybody else has all this. They're just flying through life. They got the new car, and but their parents just bought them a condominium. No, doesn't matter. I'm telling you, at this age, I started seeing it in my 60s, that they would just start dropping like flies, that they didn't have the tools. Because if you don't reach out to get the tools, life is tough sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not always dealt like easy. But that doesn't mean that you should, wallow in it. You pick yourself up and you recover. Just like a broken romance. I mean, it's like you'll never be the same, and you will, and you'll be better.
Yeah. That's one of those things. I think the blessing and the curse of social media is like when people, and I love that you're putting this out there, is that like you will survive, you will get through it. And I always believe that life is always pulling us to be a better version of ourselves. And if something blew up, whether it's a career, relationship, or money, like there's work to be done to move to what you were always meant to really have. Because I think especially like nowadays, like the younger people, including my generation, like they're still like, okay, I'm gonna get this good job and then this like home and marriage and all this before they even found out who they were. And so fast forward to later on, like 10 to 20 years, it's crumbling because that was never meant to be that like what they were supposed to originally.
You just don't even realize how young you are.
Yeah.
Because it's been like from 20 to 30, that's 10 years. But it's nothing. You don't even come into yourself until your 40s and just turning 50. What you're learning and who you're about, and the confidence, and it doesn't mean that you're not a fun person now, and you're not having. There's nobody. I mean, I look back. I don't think I could have had any more fun than I did. All my girlfriends and I, laugh. We just. Because if it was fun, party time, I forgot to tell you, I also owned a restaurant.
Oh, nice.
My husband and I, we had a very popular restaurant. So it was like the place you went and hung out at the bar. And then on New Year's, we had a big party and everything, let's go to Stellini's and have a drink. Let's go have some appetizers. Let's go see Donna and Joe, whatever it was. So it's like, oh my God, that's enough. All right.
I love that. That makes me so happy. Do you have any, because I always like to keep this around like 30 minutes or so, but do you have any, like, what would you say, like talking to, especially women who are like, struggling, whether it's their quarter life crisis in their 30s or somewhere coming around to 40s? Because I also speak to a lot of women who are like my age now who aren't married or this and this, and some people go out of their minds. What words of wisdom would you like to share?
I think the most important thing is for you to be yourself. Just you. I'm looking at you now, and a beautiful young woman who's smart, who's intelligent, who's loving, who loves animals, who loves the openness, who just reaching out all over to take in the universe. But the only thing it is that I think that we need to get focused on what we want, because I was from the generation that whatever happened, my God, it was like, we weren't supposed to be doing anything. You're supposed to be married and have kids, and that's it. You don't have a brain, and and scrubbing. And I mean, it's just like, and the husbands never, ever helped the way that they do today.
Yeah.
I mean, could you change the baby and watch the baby? And it's like, for how long,
Yeah.
But I meant like with you, it's like, whether you're married, you shouldn't put that as a, well, I don't know what I would say. I mean, if you have this terrible desire to have a child, then yes, you have to focus on that you want to be a mother. Okay. But today's time, you could be a mother and you don't need a husband, but that is rough. I've seen women do it, and it is rough, because it's rough to be a mother. It's hard. I mean, it's the most unrewarding job when you're going through it. Being a grandmother, oh my God, it's the most fabulous thing that's ever, I mean, I just can't even tell you. I tell everybody that's going to be a grandmother, oh, you're just coming into the best time of your life. Because everything that you had to put up with your children and try to teach them, grandkids are like different.
Yeah.
You know, like my daughter said, now listen, I'm dropping them off and I don't want you to give any cookies and no sugar, no sugar. And I said, listen, when they're at your house, you have those rules. They come into my house, the grandma has cookies and grandma has love and TV and a bath and bubbles and just, you go off and have a good time. You know, and I just, you know, it's just such a, like the frosting on the cake.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, because I mean, I think
People shouldn't worry so much about the money. You know, you got to pay your rent.
Yeah.
But that money is always like, because I see now, and they're still doing it, and like, there's nothing wrong with making money, you know. But I meant then focus on that, and not looking to have somebody save you.
Oh.
Yeah, the saving me is not that's never been in my that doesn't work.
I always say Prince Charming fucked up a lot of people.
Yeah.
in my book, literally one of the chapters is called "Fuck You, Cinderella," because again, so many people grew up, myself included, expecting this person to save you. What I learned is, if you're putting that out there, that person is just as messed up as you are. You know, like nobody can save yourself besides yourself. So.
It's not really what you want. It's not really, you know. You listen to the women that have that. I mean, I have one daughter, and she went through what you're talking about, all that kind of stuff. And we'd say, we used to call them Jerk 1, Jerk 2. They were all, their first name was Jerk. We didn't care what the name was. And then she finally got smart, and she went to therapy, and she, you know, said enough is enough. And she met a wonderful, wonderful man. She's happy. He's kind. He's everything. But I mean, it wasn't like, you know, you could be yourself.
Love it. That's super important. I think a lot of people, it breaks my heart. I'm single. Everyone's like, why are you still single? Because I have not found somebody who's allowed me to be 100% myself, because I intimidate a lot of motherfuckers because I'm confident with my shit and I know my shit. So it's interesting.
You know, you have to pay for your independence.
I'm sorry?
You have to pay for your independence. You know that.
Yeah.
When you say, like, when somebody says something, you go, no, I'm going to go to New York next week, and I got some tickets, I'm going to go to the play. And they say, oh, you can't go to New York. You shouldn't be walking around by yourself. And you go like, what do you mean? Well, I don't like that. That just doesn't, you know, like, doesn't make me happy. I said, well, I'm sorry. I'm going to miss you. You know, I mean, I don't care what age you are, that when you don't do what they want, then there's issues.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you so much. I've got to wrap this up. Any little last tidbits you'd like to share before we sign off?
I just think be true to yourself. And I want to say to all the young people out there that this is a difficult time. And I really, my heart goes out to you guys, because I mean, to even be interested in anybody with a mask on, and you can't even see what they're doing. You can't kiss them. You can't touch them. You know, it's like, I thank God I'm not there.
I love it. I love it. And P.S. I just noticed, I love that you got your nails done and you're wearing pops of color. I always believe in a little pop of color helps elevate the spirit and vibes.
Yeah,
Great. All right, Donna, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Nice talking to you.
Thank
Okay.
you. And then everyone, make sure to follow the links after this if you want a little bit more info about me or Donna or any of my books or my Unfucking Yourself program. All right? Ciao, ciao. Thank you, Donna.
Bye now.
You're amazing. Thank you so much.
Purple bud in my backwoods. If you smoke with me, you'll get high as fuck. Popeyes eating chicken wings with my eyes low. I be fried up.